I'm on time. I'm actually early. I know I'm going to piss off a few people for being early, but I got a plane to catch. And sorry for that. But today we're going to be talking about an irritable insomniac. Are you one of those people? Sometimes? I mean, we're not always irritable insomniacs, right? I mean, some days we are, some nights we aren't. So what's going on? Well, and when I'm titling these Facebook Lives like this, it's not like you're destined to be an irritable insomniac. It's more along the lines like these are things which can increase your susceptibility to become an irritable insomniac sometimes. And when you are, you're like, I wonder if it's my slow MAOA gene that's contributing to this. And if you know that, you know how to clean it up and get it clean. Hey, Helen, good to see you again. Fantastic. I was just outside on Facebook responding to some folks on my StrateGene Facebook group, and I was out there in an 85-degree sun on the back deck without a shirt. I was like, I should go probably put a T-shirt on. You don't want to see that. Kind of blinding. So I want to share with you, though, something that was really, really insightful. Hey, Misty, good to see you. Hey, Zoe. Hey, late night dirty ninja talks making me dirty and insomniac. Yeah, well, it is recorded, so plug your questions in after, in a couple days. So if you want to go to sleep now, I'm right there with you. I hear you. So don't make your genes dirty because you want to hear this, because it is recorded. Yeah, for sure, being cut out in the sun. Hey, Stacy. So I learned an important trick today, and where best to get your medical advice and health advice? From your barber. So there's two really key people to learn health advice from. So write this down: your barber and your bartender, right? Bar and bartender. Barber, bartender. No wonder they're the best. So I was at the barber today. Can't you tell? It looks nice, right? They cut my sideburns too short, though. They said they had someone tell them that if they really want to lose weight quickly, to smoke crack. Seriously. So I'm not advocating that. This is talk with your health professional before you choose to do crack. I have to put my CYA out there. But if you do want to lose weight quickly, maybe that's something to consider. But I highly advise against it. So, but I thought that was pretty hilarious, and I had to make a mental note. And then meanwhile, she wanted to know how to reverse Alzheimer's too. So I digress, because we got to be quick today and we got to be on point. None of this fast COMT thing where you're all scattered and can't focus. Today we are going to be on point. Today you're going to be a slow COMT type person. We're going to be that MTHFR type. We're also going to be on point, right? So let's do this. First, hey, Travelers Rest, South Carolina. I got to get there. I got to get to South Carolina, but I don't play golf. And I don't like what they put on golf fields. But see, here I digress again. Slow MAOA. So if you have no idea what we're talking about how your genes can increase susceptibilities to various things and what a dirty gene means. If you have no idea, you can go to a previous link, which has shown up above, where you can watch prior Facebook Lives to learn what a dirty gene is. That's concept number one. And we are born with genes. We inherit them from our moms and dads. Thank you very much. No, they're not up there. They're in Oregon for me. But we choose how we want our genes to express. And so when I say that a slow MAOA makes you more become like an irritable insomniac, again, that is because there's something that happened during your day which caused you to have your genes slow down, okay? And yeah, your gene might be slower than the average bear, your neighbors perhaps, but you can speed it up with tricks I'm going to show you today. So symptoms that are a sign of a slow MAOA: headaches, migraines, insomnia, irritability, focused, inability to fall asleep, insomnia. So these are really, really big ones. Okay. Now, positives for a slow MAOA would be if you're helping, again, stay focused and attentive. So right now, you are listening, and hopefully you're focused, right? You're not watching Sounders game highlights, which I wouldn't blame you if you were, but you're focused and you're attentive. That's a benefit. You're also less likely to be depressed, because if your serotonin levels are higher, then you're less likely to be depressed, which is a great thing. I will say, however, along that depression route, that this whole SSRI thing that these drug companies have so pushed is pretty much nonsense. Depression is not a serotonin deficiency. Depression is not an SSRI deficiency. Depression is that your brain is not working the way it's supposed to be working. And I want to really give a shout out to my friend and colleague, Dr. Kelly Brogan, who wrote A Mind of Your Own. I don't have it here to show you because it's packed up somewhere, but it's a phenomenal read. My wife enjoyed it. She has an online program called Vital Reset too, which is also great. So A Mind of Your Own, if you are struggling with depression, please consider it. Pick it up at Amazon, and then look at her Vital Mind Reset course as well to take it a step further if you need. So, but that's the benefit of a slower MAOA. You have more adequate serotonin around. Now, let me show you why that is. And those of you who have run your StrateGene report, some of you have your MAOA showing. Like, again, I'm picking on my son here. I'm going to show you his MAOA. So you see that MAOA there, and you see how he's red plus plus for both T91-4G and T410-TC. Don't worry about that Greek language there. But see how my son is plus plus on both MAOAs? Okay, that doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's different. And a plus plus red for MAOA on a StrateGene report means that it's not the wild allele. It means that it's different than what the traditional gene is in the environment, right? What most common is. And so for my son, he's different from the standard population, and his MAOA is actually faster. So if you have a StrateGene report and it shows MAOA plus plus, that means your MAOA is genetically faster than an individual who has a MAOA that is green and minus minus. Okay? So if you see a green minus minus on your MAOA on your StrateGene report, that means it is slower. Now, I know other genetic reports do it differently. Other genetic reports are doing it wrong, in my opinion, because they're playing God. And you can't play God. At least I can't. And so, keeping it simple, that's how it is. So if you're looking at another genetic report, I don't know. I can't help you out. But StrateGene, I will tell you that's how it is. Now, those of you who have run a version 5 StrateGene report, you might not see anything here, on the MAOAs. It might be blank. And that's because 23andMe eliminated MAOA from their chip, which was stupid, I know, but that's what they did. So you will have to learn, and you don't need a genetic testing for this. If you struggle from insomnia, if you struggle from frequent irritability, if you struggle with headaches and migraines, you can already assume that your MAOA is dirty. Okay, there's no need for genetic testing, so don't worry about it. But it's handy to know. It's handy to know if that's going to happen. And again, that's StrateGene. Okay, StrateGene.org. And if you just joined us in these first Facebook Lives, and you don't have anything to do with it, this has the concept of Dirty Genes, which is my book here. You can get it at dirtygenes.com or on Amazon. And if you tag 3 friends below who are struggling from irritability, don't you want your friends to get not so irritable or struggling with insomnia? If you have a company and your employees are struggling with insomnia, don't you want them to do better? So yeah, so if you have friends who are struggling with insomnia, irritability, headaches, migraines, tag them below so they can learn this very valuable information. So let me show you the science. I'll answer a few questions here in a second. Susie, yeah, it lists NA in the report, so you have the newer 23andMe chip. So that's unfortunate, but again, just listen to how you can clean it up, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I am making my own genetic chip as we speak, so it's in process. Not something I wanted to do, but I have to do it. So here is your MAOA gene right there, okay? And see the serotonin just above it? Okay, so if your MAOA gene is slow, so if this gene is slow, what do you think will happen to the serotonin here above it? Okay, these arrows go down. See the arrows pointing down? So DDC, don't worry about that gene, but this makes serotonin, and then MAOA comes here, and it makes this metabolite called 5-HIA, okay? So what happens if your serotonin gene, metabolizing gene, MAOA, is slow? What will happen to your serotonin, do you think? What do you think will happen to it? Will the serotonin levels be higher or lower if this MAO gene here is slow? What could technically happen? Okay, I have one vote for if the MAOA gene is slower, you'll have less serotonin. Nope, it is actually higher. So if you have a lot of water coming into a sink that's overflowing with, if you have a lot of water coming into a sink faster than the drain can eliminate that water, what's going to eventually happen to the water in your sink? It's going to overflow, okay? So if I have somebody pouring water in my cup right here faster than I can drink it, which would be an odd thing to do, right? Drinking and someone filling it up. But anyhow, if they were filling it up as I was drinking and I'm drinking slower than they're filling, it's going to spill over. So I call that's the analogy. If you can't or I can't process the serotonin faster than it's being made, then you're going to have too much serotonin, and that's what I would call a dirty gene. You want the three bears. You don't want a little bit of serotonin. You don't want too much serotonin. You want just right. So there are times when we can flood our systems with too much serotonin, and we need to be able to make it go away. And if you are genetically susceptible to having too much serotonin around because you have a slower MAOA gene born with that, then this is really, really handy to know, because if you get stressed out, what's a common symptom from being stressed? Headaches, right? So if you get totally stressed out, you can think, and then you get, every time they follow by migraines and headaches, then you think, you know what? I bet I have a slow MAOA gene. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's just dirty. Maybe it needs some nutritional support. Maybe I need to change my diet. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. Okay? So here's your serotonin. There's your MAOA gene. It doesn't say A. On my new reports, it'll say A. But then it comes down here and it will make this, and you pee it out. So if you order an organic acids test is a urinary organic acids test, you will see that marker right there, 5-HIAA. You can do a pee test to see how much you are peeing out of your serotonin. Now, that's pretty cool. But if it's low or high, it doesn't really tell you much, because if it's low, if this is low, what could that mean? It could mean a couple things. It could mean a number of things. But if this is low, it could mean, one, you're not even making enough serotonin, or two, you're making a ton of serotonin, but you can't get it out. So reading lab tests gets really tricky, and I will tell you, many health professionals still struggle with this understanding. If they see this level right here, 5-HIAA, low, they will think, oh, you have too low of serotonin, and they will put you on an SSRI or 5-HTP, guessing, and at least they've measured it, but you go through the roof. You get a worse headache, you get worse migraine, you get more irritable, and you get you're like, you're feeling really, really well. And you're like, you go back to the doc and say, hey doc, that 5-HTP backfired on me. What the hell? It's because your serotonin levels were already high, your MAOA gene was too slow, it couldn't get rid of it, and you weren't even making the 5-HIAA marker. Make sense? So that's a real aha moment. That's a real pearl. I mean, I teach this stuff at my conferences, medical conferences. So Dr. You right now, that's pretty cool. And we have labs in every chapter of Dirty Genes. I'll show you the, so here's the table of contents. So you can see MAOA right there. So I discussed slow and fast, but every chapter at the end has a, well, not at the end, but in the resources section, we have all labs and we have citations, right? And look at all that. That's research, folks. There is actually research in this book. So, and then I have testing as well. So for labs. So these are all labs that you can look at and you can tell your doctor, hey, look at this for me. So if I have headaches, if you're suspecting a slow MAOA, you can take that book into your doctor and say, look at these tests. And then there's research supporting it. And these are common labs that all doctors use anyway, most of the time. So you got your, I've got your back. So let's look upstream of serotonin. Where does your serotonin come from in your diet? Okay. We'll talk about this heavily when we talk about the fast MAOA for carb cravings, chocolate, sugar, right? So if you're a carb addict, you probably aren't a slow MAOA. You're probably a fast. But, so here's your serotonin. Follow it up. 5-HTP. 5-HTP, common supplement, over the counter. Keep following these arrows backwards. Tryptophan. Tryptophan, where's that found? Turkey, right? Everybody talks about turkey. No, you don't get it from turkey. So, I mean, yeah, it is in there, but I'm not going to bore you with the science, but no, it doesn't work. So tryptophan goes through this gene, comes over here, makes 5-HTP, comes down here with vitamin B6 to make your serotonin. Okay? So, what food group is very high in tryptophan? Okay, what foods do you think are very, very high in tryptophan? So, yeah, good job, Tarina and Helen. You nailed it. So, grains, correct? Grains are high in tryptophan. Beef, Robert, Mr. Food, Dr. Food, I call Robert now. Beef, it might have tryptophan in it, but tryptophan is a big amino acid and it competes with other amino acids, so it doesn't get absorbed. Yeah, beef can have tryptophan in it, like turkey too. Tryptophan is really high in turkey, but if you're eating protein, and you are because you're eating turkey, you're not really absorbing that tryptophan. So because it's too big. So if you're eating grains in isolation or carbohydrates, then you are getting tryptophan. If you're eating a lot of grains with protein, the amount of tryptophan you're getting is less because your body can only absorb so many amino acids at a time, because the same amino acid transport system and absorption system goes through, it's competing, right? So the tryptophan is less favorable to get absorbed. But if you're eating carbohydrates alone, then you're going to be absorbing a lot of tryptophan. So what do you think for people who have a slow MAOA? Do you think it's good to eat a lot of grains alone or a lot of carbs alone if you have a slower MAOA? What do you think? Vera, yeah, while they're answering, here's the book again, Dirty Genes. You can get on dirtygenes.com. Comes with some great video courses as well. Where to Start is a really good one. So what do you think? Chrissy, probably not. You're right. So the absorption of tryptophan is higher if you're eating just carbohydrates. So you're getting more tryptophan. And if you're getting more tryptophan, here's your tryptophan. If you're getting more tryptophan, you're more able to make 5-HTP, which then comes over here to make more serotonin. And if you have a slow MAOA for some reason, and you have headaches and you're irritable and you have insomnia, eating carbs alone is not a good idea. But we all do it. What do we eat when we watch TV before bed? Carbs, right? Carbs, the perfect snack food. So you're killing yourself. What do you eat? You eat desserts, sugar, might be cookies, it might be all these things, right? I mean, the sugar doesn't help, obviously, but carbohydrates before bed for you, complex carbohydrates too, doesn't matter, is not good. And too much protein isn't good either. So I would be considering a nice salad, and you could have some fat in that salad, maybe some, bacon has probably got some histamine in there and nitrates. But I have recipes in the book for that. I can't think of them offhand, but beets, beet salad is great. Borscht, soups are fantastic. But don't have too much protein in the evening before bed, and don't have too many carbohydrates before bed. And believe me, once you start tuning in and optimizing your health and you start feeling better, and I teach you how to do that in Dirty Genes. I basically tell you how I live in the book. And I lost 17 pounds without exercising by just tweaking my biochemistry a little bit and changing how I ate a little bit. That's how cool this stuff is. Just minor tweaks. And I lost 17 pounds in about 2 months. And I'm 197 now, and I feel fantastic. 198. I lied. 198. I feel great. So let's answer some questions. Chrissy, boom. Yeah, good on you. Should not eat protein with grains. No, you can have proteins with grains. If your MAOA is slow, then if you have protein with grains, you're absorbing less tryptophan. Your MAOA can't get rid of that tryptophan very easily, so you're not absorbing it very much. So if you have your carbohydrates with proteins, then you're not absorbing very much, and you're not jamming up your already clogged MAOA, okay? Darren, you bought 10 books today to give away as gifts. You rock, man. Awesome. Thank you. Carbs, damn killer. Well, Chrissy, you're right. Carbs are a killer. This whole ketogenic thing out there is blowing up. I have videos on YouTube about the ketogenic diet. There's one called Chubster. If you type Dr. Ben Lynch Chubster, it's my kid's teddy bear. And Chubster gained weight. And it's a really, really good talk about keto. There's a whole bunch of keto talks that I've done. And Mike Muscle of High Intensity Health, very good as well. His channel is fantastic. But I'd look at that. Alessandro Ferretti is also phenomenal. So Alessandro Ferretti, Mike Muscle, and my channel too for a ketogenic diet is really, really good. And then your cravings will go away. Now, ketogenic diet, not to get sidetracked, but this is relevant because if you have a fast MAOA and you have headaches and mood swings, ketogenic diet can make you more even keel, right? But I'm not keto. I'm not going keto. I'm fat adapted. I can burn my own fat. So let's answer some questions. Nancy, you're confused. MAOA plus, and I was told that it meant I could not break down the neurotransmitter, so it sounds like it's slow. You say it is the slow one. You say minus is a slow one. Yes. Now, if you go to drbenlynch.com and you say frustrated genetics, you just go to Google and type, Dr. Lynch frustrated genetics. You will see my frustration here. There is mass confusion, and it's not good. So I will tell you from my StrateGene report. So if you have StrateGene and you have, sorry to show you this again, not here to plug the thing, sorry to teach you. So there's MAOA. If you're plus using a StrateGene report, it is fast. It is fast, not slow, okay? Genetically, it is fast. Now, how it's acting is different. Just because it's here doesn't mean that it's slow. Just because MAOA here plus, it's faster. He's genetically susceptible to being fast. It doesn't mean it is fast. I know this is like a mind-blowing thing here, but can you judge a person by the color of their skin? Can you judge the person's actions by the color of their skin or by their race? No. So you cannot judge the action of a SNP by its color. You can't. And that's why the book Dirty Genes does not have, you don't have to do genetic testing to understand how your genes are working. Because if you understand how the history and the right questions, like, do you get irritable? Do you get insomnia? Do you have headaches? Do you have migraines? Are you worse from stress? Do carbs make you feel worse, right? Those are questions that automatically say, all right, I'm loading up my tryptophan and my MAOA is slow. It's dirty. No genetic test needed, okay? No genetic test needed. So there is confusion, but I'm just going to stop there. Other genetic reports, I can't speak for them. A lot of them are nonsense anyway. Robert, carbs and blue light before bed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. You're watching telly, you're eating a bunch of carbs, and yeah, it's a recipe for insomnia, isn't it? For sure. So MAOA folks are very susceptible to this. Tarina, I love carbohydrates before bed. It's the only way I can stay asleep, but you have a fast MAOA. Yeah, we'll get there. See, you're cruising along. Is that why a high carb binge makes you sleepy? Well, that's for fast MAOA. So Deb, come back next week on Tuesday. Ask that same question, please. It's a brilliant question. It's a really, really good question. But too many carbs can make you sleepy. I'll answer this part from a non-genetic perspective. Too many carbs can make you sleepy for a couple of reasons. One, you've spiked your blood sugar and your insulin sees it, and you secrete too much insulin to go and grab that sugar, because carbohydrates turn into sugar. So you spike a bunch of glucose, or you spike a bunch of insulin to go grab that glucose to absorb it into your blood, into your cells, out of your blood, because glucose in the blood is dangerous. It's reactive and damaging. So you secrete a lot of insulin, but it's called reactive. It reacts. It sees a bunch. If there's like a huge amount of glucose in the body, you secrete more insulin to go get it. But the problem is, when you secrete that much insulin, now your body is left with not much glucose in your blood. It's now into your cells, and your brain is thinking, hey, I don't have any glucose. It's gone, right? It's gone. So it's not just serotonin here. It's an insulin glucose response. It's called reactive hypoglycemia, if you want to look it up. It's very common, bipolar disease, or, it's not really a disease, but bipolar, that condition. It's very commonly associated with reactive hypoglycemia. Brain fog, brain farts, again. So if you're chowing on a bunch of carbs, that can be a problem here. And I'll get into this later, but it also could be that too much carbohydrate is damaging to your mitochondria, thereby ruining your fuel. But we'll hit that. Good question. Barry will buy the book. Appreciate your support. I got like 11,000 more to go. Hit that New York Times bestsellers list. We can do this. We can do this with your help. Let's see. Bright and early here in Australia. Hoping my kids stay asleep long enough for me to keep watching. Yeah, love your country. Zoe, watch the Chubster interview. Good. All right. How does the slow MAOA gene affect dopamine and norepinephrine? Awesome. Thank you. I love you guys. So, great question, Trina. So let's show you. Now, I screwed up here. I didn't screw up. I was lazy, or I screwed up, or both. But see how this is not labeled? It just says MAO, right? So there's MAO and there's MAOB, and I'm looking at my main poster, which I have over here, which you can't see. And this is MAOB, the rest are MAOA. Okay, so this right here is MAOB, okay? So that's not MAOA, so we'll ignore that one. So here's your dopamine, goes through here. Here's a MAOA, so it definitely is affecting your epinephrine metabolites, okay? So that's affecting your epinephrine. So what do you think would happen if on your genetic report you have a slow COMT and a slow MAOA? So if this gene is slow and this gene is slow, what do you think is going to happen, right? This person's neurotransmitters are going to be like up here. So we've already talked about the slow COMT. So if you have a slow COMT combined with a slow MAOA, look out, because your ability to calm down is not so good. But your ability to focus is way up here. You're kicking ass, excuse me. But you're doing really, really well. But you're also more type A, you're more driven, and then you grind yourself. So I highly recommend that you watch the slow COMT video that we've done before and combine it with the slow MAOA, because you want to do both, right? You do both of these things to really help speed up these genes and to calm down. And the best treatment that you could do was in the movie What About Bob? And that's called Take a Vacation. So that's really good. Let's see. Now, histamine. Does a slow MAOA affect histamine? No, it doesn't. Not that I'm aware of. So here's a histamine pathway. So here's your histamine, and histamine contributes to insomnia as well. But histamine needs your methylation to work, which we discussed with the methylation master, the MTHFR gene, right? So the MTHFR gene is really important for supporting this one. But here's your MAO-B gene, not MAO-A. It's different. But the good news is the nutritional support is the same. Okay, the nutritional support is the same. So let's talk about nutritional support here, since I've got to go pack, because in 30 minutes my ride to the airport's coming. I'm flying to Dallas to talk with about 1,800 people about autism and how dirty genes is related to autism. So great. And Robert Kennedy Jr. will be there, and hopefully I got a pic with Mr. Kennedy. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, that'd be really cool. What an honor that would be. So nutritional support for MAOA. Let me hold this up. Yeah, it's not something I ever thought of, me rolling with the Kennedys. Hey, that's pretty cool. But why not, right? Why not? So there's your MAOA gene, okay? Right there. See the green? MAO right here. MAO, FAD. I don't think we've talked about this before, but MAOA, it uses the FAD. FAD is a flavin gene, and you get FAD from riboflavin, vitamin B2. So do you think vitamin B2 would help the MAOA gene work faster if it's slow? So yes or no? Do you think if you gave someone or yourself who have too much serotonin, do you think if you gave, if you swallowed riboflavin, do you think that would support the MAOA gene working? Let's see here. Helen, yes. Tarina, yes. What do you think, fellas? Come on. Women are winning here. Christina, yes. Sarah, Ghosty, Popo. I see a picture of a dog. We got dogs tuning in. That's pretty sweet. Zoe, it would support. Barbara, come on, man. Where are you? Robert, help me out here. Or are you eating? Come on. Deb, where are the men? Sarah, yes, because it's a cofactor. You nailed it. Spot on. All right. You're all right. Man, I don't know where you are. You let me down. But Bastyr University was 80% women. So I get it. I get it. This is not, women are the neck of the family. Men may be head of the household, but women are the neck. So, and we had that picture in my house growing up. So you know who was boss in my home, or my parents' home. And then it was another one. The rooster may crow, but the hen delivers the goods. So women, you're definitely delivering the goods here. So yes. If you have a slow MAOA, right here, if you have a slow MAOA, if you have too much serotonin, by taking riboflavin, because it is the cofactor, it will speed up your elimination of MAOA, okay? It will speed up the elimination of the serotonin, because it is what the gene needs, it's what the enzyme needs to work. The MAOA gene makes the MAOA enzyme in order to get serotonin out of your body, to reduce your irritability, to reduce your insomnia, reduce your headaches, reduce your migraines. And a common, very, very well researched treatment recommendation for migraines and headaches is 400 milligrams of riboflavin. Is it expensive? No. Can you buy it anywhere? Yes. 400 milligrams of riboflavin will help support your MAOA gene and your MAOB gene as well. Okay, your MAOB enzymes. Genes make enzymes. So 400 milligrams of riboflavin is an inexpensive way to support the elimination and movement of your serotonin. Now, what else? What else here? Serotonin goes to what to help you fall asleep? Melatonin, right? So serotonin moves to melatonin. If you didn't know that, don't worry, not many people do. So here's your serotonin, goes through this gene here, AANAT, which nobody knows about, and it makes your melatonin, okay? And look at this. This gene uses SAMe, and this gene uses B5. So if you have mass amounts of serotonin because you have a slow MAOA, that's a good thing, right? It's harder to fall asleep, but you can stay asleep. Okay, it's harder to fall asleep, but you can stay asleep because you can make enough melatonin throughout the evening to stay asleep. So one trick you can do is if you do the riboflavin to help clear out the serotonin, right, to help calm down or reduce your headaches, that might be okay during the day, right? But during the night, you want to start diverting that serotonin not this way, you want to divert it that way. If you just take riboflavin in the evening and just drain it all out, then you're going to say, hey, Dr. Lynch, yeah, I fell asleep, but I woke up at 3 in the morning. Okay, that's not helpful. So maybe riboflavin during the day can be useful, and then during the night, I recommend not taking, look at that, see that, vitamin B5? What nutrient do you burn through a lot when you're stressed out? I just showed it to you. Pantothenic acid, vitamin B5, very cheap too. So if you're stressed out and tired, then you're also not falling asleep. It's called tired and wired, right? So vitamin B5 during the day to support your stores, and I don't have pantothenic acid. I didn't think about that. See, that's the cool thing about pathway planners. I didn't even think about taking riboflavin at night. Too much of it would be bad and cause, to be waking you up too early. But I just figured it out because I looked at the pathway. That's how these things work. So I've never taught this before. You're the guinea pigs, but it makes sense, right? So vitamin B5, start taking that in the morning because vitamin B5 is not good to take at night, but your body will store it around, keep it around, and see that SAMe and acetylserotonin. So your body will acetylate the serotonin, and then you'll methylate it with SAMe. So what did we talk about for the slow COMT gene? We talked about SAMe. 250 milligrams before bed. If you have struggling with insomnia, that can be a really good support. Now, if you have slow COMT, do you think 5-HTP would be a good recommendation? If you have a slow MAOA, here's your MAOA gene here. If it's slow, your serotonin is higher, and you have headaches and migraines, and you're irritable and pissed off, do you think taking 5-HTP would help if your serotonin levels were high? Here's your 5-HTP up here. So if your serotonin levels were already high, and you had headaches, migraines, irritable, insomnia, and you're chowing down carbs, do you think taking more 5-HTP would be a problem? Yeah, you're right. You guys are right. Yeah, it would not be a good idea to take. You guys are getting this, right? It's all about how fast your genes can work. You're giving them tools to support, but how fast can they get rid of it? So when you understand how your body works, you can tweak things to change it. Now, every day you're not going to be stressed out. If you're on vacation, you're going to be fine. If you love a job, you're going to be great. Other days at work are really stressful. Other days are not. So if you know how to adapt, say, tonight I need that SAMe. I was pissed off, or I was really stressed out for a week. I need some pantothenic acid. Or if you're sitting there on the couch and you're watching TV and you're eating carbs, then you might be in a world of hurt, right? So then you can say, okay, well, I just mowed on a bunch of carbs And yeah, I'm probably not going to get the best sleep tonight. Maybe I will try some riboflavin now and maybe some SAMe to help neutralize this. Okay. So, but it all comes down to one thing. Well, not one thing, but calming down. Lowering your stress levels is so, so important. Taking time for you so you can help yourself. If you don't help yourself first, you can't help others. So you got to help yourself first. I'm healthy right now, right? And I remember it was my first Facebook Live with you guys. I wasn't feeling very good. I was not right. I was sick. So I laid down afterwards and I went to bed. So, but I got myself healthy again. So you got to take care of yourself first. So reducing and calming stress, this is a big one. Optimal adrenal, it takes the edge off a lot of things. So it calms and reduces your stress. And you can read the reviews about that. And now, here's that 5-HTP. Not a good idea for those struggling with a slow MAOA. I would not be recommending it. And if you're on an SSRI, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, that is something that if you're struggling with headaches and migraines and you're irritable and you can't fall asleep at night, then I would go back and talk with your doctor and say, hey, doc, you should probably, let's revisit my dosage here. And yeah. So let's go back to some questions here. SAMe has been a godsend. Yeah, great to hear, Carrie. What if you're already taking SSRI? Do you need to get off it before trying these things? So if you're on an SSRI, you need, just like I said, you need to go to your doctor and you need to maybe evaluate your dose. And I talk about the pulse method in Dirty Genes. So again, if you guys just got here and you've got friends struggling with these things, please tag 3 friends, like and comment below to get entered to win. Oh, we haven't given the winners away. Enter to win a copy of Dirty Genes and the Dirty Genes course. And Rose, who's on her way to pick me up here, I just got my ticket for the plane. We've got Christy Cohn and Carrie Collins. You are the winners of the Dirty Genes course bundle, which gives you the copy of Dirty Genes itself and the course bundle, which includes the Where to Start course and also the Dirty Genes Air, Water, Food, Foundations, and the Environment. It's a phenomenal course as well. So you can learn more about those at dirtygenes.com, and you can email support@dirtygenes.com. So again, Kristen Cohn and Carrie Collins, you have won. Those were last week's winners. So yeah, good. Pretty easy to win too. Rogue Pharmacist, I loved it. I just mowed down the carbs. That's a great line. Mowed down the carbs. So Sarah, so riboflavin in the morning and pantothenic acid in the evening. No, I would not do pantothenic acid in the evening. I haven't tried pantothenic acid in the evening. You can consider it, but I look at pantothenic acid as being very good for energy. So I would use pantothenic acid in the morning or afternoon, and I do the same for riboflavin, morning or afternoon, if you're irritable or you have headaches or migraines. Okay, both of those can be useful. Both riboflavin, both pantothenic acid are simple B vitamins. Vitamin B2, vitamin B5 can be very useful if you're struggling with irritability, headaches, or tremendous amounts of stress, or you have a slow MAOA. Okay, so I would not be taking that much pantothenic acid in the evening. I'd be careful with that. So an optimal sleep, I don't think I brought it here, or did I? I didn't. I don't remember if I have that much riboflavin in optimal sleep or not. 23andMe, is it $200? This is a great question. Everybody's asking me, Dr. Lynch, do I need to order the $199 or the $99 report for StrateGene, the test for StrateGene? Or no, do I need to order the $99 or the $199 23andMe? And it's your choice. The choice is you get your raw data So you get your genetic information, regardless if you order the $99 or the $199. You get all your genetic data, no matter what. The other $100 that you spend, you get health reports. So if it's important for you to know that you might have blonde hair, but you're actually brown haired, or if you care that you actually tend to be a sprinter, but you hate running, and you're actually not a sprinter, you're an endurance runner, or you think that you want to know your eye color, but you can't look in the mirror. Your genetic report says, you're actually blue-eyed, but you're hazel-eyed, or that your pee stinks when you eat asparagus. So if all that is important to you, spend the $100 to get the health reports. I'm being a bit facetious on these health reports, but generally speaking, I think I don't think these health reports are very useful. Frankly, I think most genetic reports are not useful. I think the majority of the genetic test reporting tools out there are not useful at all. I think they're very dumb and putting way too much emphasis on a SNP. Remember what we've talked about. You don't have to have, you're not locked into having a genetically slow MAOA. It might be born that way, right? It might be born to conserve your serotonin, but you're not locked into that. You can tweak it, you can adapt it, okay, through your lifestyle and your diet. All right. Is optimal adrenal okay for nursing moms? Good question. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have to be careful in that recommendation. I'm not sure. Anytime you deal with pregnancy and breastfeeding, I'm leaning towards the safe side. So, yeah, Lori, it's a great point. I got to go pack here soon. I just got an announcement. I got to pack in 15 minutes. It's unfortunate that an organic acids test, if it shows low 5-HIAA, or if you get an organic acids test and it shows that this amount is low, that they automatically recommend 5-HTP. But the problem is you could be low in riboflavin, you could be low in niacin, you could be low in thiamine, okay? You could be low in vitamin B5, you could be low in B6, you could be low in iron. I mean, it's stupid. So these labs that are giving these basic recommendations, I just throw the first page away. When I worked with patients, I just threw the first page away of these nutrient recommendations and use my head. So, all right, all. So again, please support the sales and your own health and your family's health and your friends' health and even your enemy's health with a copy of Dirty Genes. And like the other gentleman who bought 10 copies to give away as gifts, phenomenal, man. I give you a huge high five and a fist bump. So thank you for your support. I want this sucker to say New York Times bestseller on that. Why? If it says New York Times bestseller on here, I will gain credibility. If I gain credibility, that means I can get better attention, more media attention. I want to be on PBS, right? If I'm on PBS, I can get even more homes. So I want to be helping as many people as I can. I know many reasons why there's miscarriage. I know many reasons why there's autism. I know many reasons why there's neural tube defects. I know why people are getting, high blood pressure or dementia. I know these things. So, and I discuss these things in here. This is a prevention book. Okay, this is a prevention book. And that's what I am about. That's what naturopathic medicine is about, is disease prevention. So if this sucker says New York Times bestseller across the top, my credibility goes up. My credibility goes up. My ability to help goes up. So my ability to serve goes up. So please, I only need to sell 12,000 copies. That's it. So if each one of you go out and you help promote this to 5 friends and you sell 5 copies, man, we'll blow this thing up. So your support is very, very powerful. If you're fed up with medicine, you're fed up with doctors, and you're fed up with the treatments you're getting, a copy of Dirty Genes is an indirect ticket to getting this thing better. And am I making money off of selling this book? No, the publisher is. I'm not. So I wrote this to help you. And yes, it helps me as well. Yes, I make money indirectly from it through other things. But my primary focus is to help you all. And your support is greatly appreciated. I'm off to go fly to Dallas to talk with 1,800 people about autism, to help them clean up their dirty genes, and to hang out with Robert Kennedy Jr., I hope. And Robert, if you tuned in, thank you for your work. You're doing great things. Thanks all. Take care. Tag 3 friends, like, share, and tell your friends and family to buy a copy of Dirty Genes at dirtygenes.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.